Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So, first question I'm going to answer, yes, I am working on the low Z-Tra, double XT. Got our parts card torn apart and are going through that. And it needs a lot going through. But one thing you might have noticed is we did get our Dragon Punch order today. So, not only did our Dragon Punch have parts for our low Z, it also had parts for our fan, because everyone knows on this channel the fan Graphite is my favorite RC10, and I just can't stop playing with this thing. So one thing that Dragon Punch had, they call it an APX top deck conversion with the narrow top rails. So you have your standard width RC10. They provide you new aluminum mounts, which are actually really nice. And A, it adds a bit of weight. B, they have already the hinge pin holes tapped to go down there and hold the hinge pins a little bit better. And then it provides a mount for your top deck. I still have to get a body mount from our RC10T to put a body mount here, just like we have on our Dragon Punch car, because that's how that mounts, or our world's long arm car with a Dragon Punch chassis top deck. So it uses the same mounting system there. So needless to say, we're going to have to paint another body, but we'll get another body painted. We'll get that in there, create that hole. And this kit is $69. If you go on Dragon Punch's website, it's, what is it, ADP. I'll throw it up here. If you can't read that, ADP 10TDN-25SW. That's what you need to get. And not only does this work with the Dragon Punch, but it does work with any of your pan chassis cars as well. Will work for your new Graphite car if you ordered one of the new Graphites. I don't know why you would, but whatever. It'll work on that. So it'll work on any kind of classic RC10. On specifically the Fran Graphite, only one of these holes was countersunk. I had to countersink the other three to get those screws nice and flush there. So did that, got those flush. Chassis still looking pretty good. I had to take off the chassis protector, obviously, to mount this up. But we'll get a new chassis protector on here, but it's done its job. I mean, I have like one small scratch right there after racing this as much as I've raced it. That's not too bad. The motor plate is what's been taking a killing, but I got to spare one of those in case I ever want to replace that. So also what I did was I put the Unilink in the steering up here. So now instead of two ball cups and a turnbuckle, it's just one solid piece. That's from Fan. Do have Fan ball cups, so we are going to run new Fan ball cups and tighten everything up. And I got them in black because we're gonna black this thing out a little bit, I think. So in this conversion is really easy. Like I said, $70. You take your old mounts out. And these already had them tapped for hinge pin holders to tighten up the front end. And there's still no slop in there. So Dragon Punch fitment quality is great. And like I said, it adds a little bit more weight to the front of this thing. But this car is already a little weighty as it is. But, you get those in there. And then you mount the top deck. It just clears our B7 servo brace. So that's fine. And then the only other thing I'm going to do is I am going to get like a factory team servo horn. Show the Fan Graphite a little love, because that's a ProTech with a 15.5 throw, and I cut the top off because it was hitting the body because I had my body so low. The other thing I did is I did get a J-Concept steering bell crank. I thought I ordered one for a 10T, but I ordered another one for an RC10. So I may have to put that in there. We will see. But I wanted to get the top deck on, get that in there, just see how it fit up, and it just clears, like, the fan just tucks underneath it. And I believe they make two different widths, so I got the thin top deck, so the side rails are the thinner side rails. I think the other one that's thick is the same thickness as the front rails. So we'll see how this stiffens up the car and see what that does as far as handling wise and all that. So but I love the fan. I'm glad this thing is rocking out. So apparently I have a black C-clip on there. I was that kind of caught my eye, so I'll to switch that out. Man, I'm not color coordinated here, and my ADD is going to get to me. And next thing you know, cats living with dogs, all this other stuff. But like I said, took about 30 minutes to get everything on there and get it set up. Fits great, finishes great from Dragon Punch. No issues there. And then, like I said, it just led to some other stuff when I started looking at it. Like I said, I got to get the correct non-metric ball studs for the J Concepts steering to work. So I'll have to order some of those. So if I want to use the J Concepts in here, that's what I'll have to do. Switch out the ball cups. I am going to switch out the servo brace or the servo horn from this ProTech to a factory team, and get that taken care of. But man, everything else is looking pretty good. We'll have to get, like I said, a 10T rear body post mount. I'll have to get one in there so we can paint up and mount a new body. But I'm kind of interested in how, man, it stiffens it up a lot because it does not move. But I think that's pretty cool, and it might be a good tuning option. I mean, it's one of those things too. Like I could see you putting this on and maybe removing the 2 front screws and maybe still getting some flex in there if you wanted some flex, all depending on what you're looking to set up. But like I said, for us, I was on Dragon Punch's website ordering stuff for the Lozies. I saw this kit and wanted to order it up because I thought it was pretty trick, and it was supposed to be like a 30-day wait time, and Dragon Punch got this out to me right away. Came with our Lozi parts, so it took about a week is all. So I think it was like 4 days to process the order, and they shipped it out on Monday and arrived today. So good on Dragon Punch, and hopefully they keep making more stuff for the Lozies. But I thought this was pretty cool, and like I said, it's applicable. If you have a gold pan, if you have a Kinwald that just got released that you want to run this top deck, you can run this on a pan chassis car. You can run it on the new Graphite. You can run it on your fan. Looks trick. Poor man's stealth car, I guess you could probably call it. Compared to our narrow front end, long arm car that we built on this channel. If you haven't seen that, look down below. But yeah, turned out great. And like I said, everything clearances. That B7, man, you can maybe put a couple of slices of paper through there, and that is tight, but it all works. So we are going to go with that. We're going to slap on a new chassis protector on the bottom, get that cleaned up, and get this thing back out, I think, on the track. And like I said, we got our Kinwald done, so we are going to start slapping some stuff into that and run that car as well. So trying to get the double XT finished. So if you are watching the double XT build, there is going to be one tomorrow. Believe it or not, all those parts over there's going to be a double XT roller. Tomorrow night I may not post the video till Saturday. We'll see how long it takes, but I got my titanium ball studs in, got the rear Dragon Punch plate in for that, and we'll get that all together. And it looks kind of rough over there, but literally all I got to do is the tie rod ends, switch the tie rod ends out, replace the ball studs, and do the shocks, and that thing is going to be pretty close to there. And then our parts double XT is, it's pretty sad, but we're going to scavenge some parts, get Nick's truck together, and then maybe have enough to build another one. Do have some spare rims and stuff, so we'll get those in acetone. RC10T parts stacking up for an RC10T I don't have. And yeah, so that's kind of the update. But again, the fan RC, guys, if you want to race an RC10, man, do yourself a favor, get a fan Graphite. You can find them at Go Fast and I think Hobby Action. They're less than $400. And I raced mine like right out of the box. I put on like a cool J Concepts rear motor guard or rear motor plate and guard in the back because it's cut down, looks trick, whatever. But everything on this car, and like I said, I've never had really anything break. Nothing's really, the only thing that's, I don't even know if it's wore out, is in the back. They're not so bad, but in the front, the ball cups have just they're starting to get a little play in them. But like I said, I have raced this since October, so it's seen some race time. So I'm going to throw the black bulk ups on because black is faster, and get those on there. And then, like I said, I may switch out the steering to J Concepts. I'm going to get a factory tuned servo horn, so my cut down Protect doesn't look so shabby. And yeah, that'll be it for the old fan Graphite. We will throw this thing out on the track here pretty quick and see how it does against our Kinwald. So our Kinwald is pretty much fully built, ready to go. The only thing I'm waiting on is the Octalock slipper pads. So running R1 carbon fiber slipper pads, we'll run those on there. B2 parts come tomorrow, so the B2 is basically all done. It's all sitting over there, so we'll have that done. Kinwald's all done. Body's painted for the double XT. Other cars are sitting there. Double XT, one in parts, one getting ready. And our fan Graphite is still the cream of the crop, I believe. But yeah, so if you haven't checked out Dragon Punch, look at some of their stuff. They make stuff for just, more than just Associated, obviously. They make Lowe's stuff and a couple others, I believe. And check them out. Good pricing, fast shipping, great quality. But if you're looking to add a top deck or stiffen up your chassis a little bit, whether it's a pan car, Kinwald, a fan Graphite, what have you, definitely look at this kit. Really nice quality, good price. And if you like this, guys, like, comment, subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next one.